Today on Dirtnation Offroad, we are giving our Tacoma a much needed refresh in the front. It's already looking good. We got some more things to do. Let's get started. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dirtnation Offroad. So today we are bringing you another Tacoma video because we've been doing a lot of Tacoma stuff lately, which is real cool. We've been making some big upgrades to this truck this year. You know, we had this build go on a couple years ago, and you know, we've been using it and abusing it and having fun with it and doing all that stuff, and then we'll be using all the other trucks and blah, 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 blah. This year, I've been really putting a focus on making some key upgrades to the Tacoma, as well as some like design and front end changes, and just, you know, we're really shaking it up with this truck. In this video, we're gonna talk about a couple things that we've done behind the scenes and why we've done those things, because we've had some breakdowns, we've had some things happen there to where we've had to fix some things and make some improvements, and then we're gonna be doing an install in this video as well. Now, first things first, on a previous video, we did do the 3.5-inch long travel from Wicked Creations. You guys can check that video out down below. We'll have it linked. Otherwise, we did do a new grill setup because the old grill was made of steel. Yeah, it had a cool light bar on it and everything, but it was getting a little too heavy to where it really sagged down the front end. I didn't like that very much, so we went with a plastic one, picked this up from Amazon. I didn't do an install on it because it's pretty straightforward. You just clip it into place. It's got some Raptor lights, real cool stuff. And then the other thing I want to talk about is our new bumper. Oh yeah, she's nice. And then finally, we're going to do an install on some 3-inch pod lights from Novsight. Now, big shout out to Novsight for sending these out to us. They specialize in off-road lights as well as, you know, automotive lights, all that fun stuff. So we might pick up some other product for them. But for now, we have some 3-inch pod lights that we're going to put right on the bumper. Now, these things have some cool features and some things that I've been looking to do on the Tacoma for a while now. But we'll have an install on these as well as some coupon codes, links, all that fun stuff coming later in the video. But for now, let's talk about this bumper. Oh my goodness. Now, first things first, our bumper came from Jmfab Garage. He's the one that actually did our rear bumper as well as our 63 leaf spring swap on the Tacoma. And then we have some work coming up on winchers where he's going to make some rear and front recovery points, put a winch on and all that stuff. But this bumper right here was fully designed by him. This is the first of its kind, and you know, based off that, he's going to do some things. The main reason why I had this bumper made, a couple things. First of all, I wanted high clearance, lightweight, and strength. Okay, those three things were key for me. So first things first, high clearance. This thing sits way higher than the previous bumper. You guys can even see right here, look at, you can see all this room underneath, right? Your approach angle got so much better. Now, first thing to talk about is the mounting surface on the bumper, because the stock design was the 3 bolts with, you know, a plate that was welded to the frame. I ended up ripping that off of the frame. I'll include some photos right here where there was giant cracks. That was just from years of using the winch, smacking it against stuff. I'm sure like flexing it and all this other stuff definitely doesn't help. I mean, look at that. I winched so hard one time, you know, in a bad spot that I ended up breaking the rope. So I just tied off the end. But that just tells you, you know, the kind of situations that I've been in with this truck to where I've needed to use the winch in extreme situations. So first things first, we needed to beef up this entire thing. So he completely chopped off the front end and redid it. In the process, he ended up moving the cross member up, I think 3 or 4 inches, I want to say, because it used to sit way the hell down here. He moved this up quite a bit to regaining a lot of ground clearance, and we're really tucking this bumper up high rather than having a big old chin all the way down here. In addition, he went from 3 bolts up to 4 now, with gussets tying everything in all the way around. So you have a plate right here, you have this plate, you have this plate, and then there is plating on the bottom just to tie all this to the frame. And then not only that, you used to have 2 separate plates, right? You had one on this side, one on the other side. This is all now one solid plate all the way across. So it's all tied together real strong. Now for the winch mount itself, he pretty much did the same thing, right? He has it right there. It's tied in all along right here. So you guys can see on the bottom, look at that, gussets on gussets on gussets. You also have more bolts going through the cross member. So I lied. It's not just 4 bolts. It's actually 1, 2, 3, so it's 11 bolts. Holy crap. There's 11 bolts holding this thing together, because I didn't know that he had cut more holes into this. So you can see, look at how many ways that it's tied in. It actually might be overkill, which, hey, we'll find out about that. But there you go. Tied in a lot of places. Same thing right here. We have tubes running off for the bumper itself, right? Even though this is a single tube and I might smack this and it might bend, we'll have to see about that. But it is tied in right here. You have this point tied in, which is tied into this, which is going to be strong as hell, which is also tied into this, which is also tied into this, which is also, you know, it's all linking together so that this thing should be strong. Inside, now we knew this was going to happen, but we have a little bit of a tight fit, but I am able to adjust the winch as I need to, because we tucked the winch way the hell in there, right? Because I wanted this to be a super high clearance bumper. We had to tuck that winch in there quite a bit. You can see, look at that ground clearance. Like, it is impressive. Now, added benefit, you can actually see the long travel when you take photos. That is that's a big deal for me. You don't spend thousands of dollars on long travel and you can't even see it because your bumper's covering it. Now we can see it. Now, underneath the hood, we did have to make some changes because the power steering cooler used to sit right next to the subframe on the bottom, the one that we chopped and moved up. So when you move that up, you now have your most bottom thing being that power steering cooler, which would be easily ripped off by rocks. So we went ahead and relocated it right here. So it's right in front of the AC condenser. There's plenty of space right there. So we just welded on a couple tabs, bolted that on, and I've been driving around. It's doing just fine. Power steering's doing good. Good stuff. Inside here, in order to fit the winch as is, he did make a little bracket so that it would raise up the box just a little bit. We did think about relocating the box, you know, to right here or inside the truck or something, but you know, rather than like deal with all these wires and everything, we just went ahead and did it right there. And then we still have access if we want to use the winch, you know, use the what's it called, the wired controller. We can still do that. I use the wireless controller, so I don't really have to worry about it. But yeah, she's tucked up in there nice and tight. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the bumper. I really like this thing. It has completely transformed how this truck looks. In addition to being a very sexy bumper, it is lightweight, it is strong, and it is functional. So it is checking a lot of boxes for me. Just I absolutely love it. So if you guys are interested in getting something similar made, whether you have a Tacoma, whether you have other vehicles, you guys can hit up Jmfab Garage. We'll have his Instagram link down below. So he's worked on a lot of vehicle. He usually does Tacoma stuff, but I know he can do other things. So you guys could hit him up and see what kind of things you could work out. As for these bumpers, what he's told me is that he's gonna probably do, you know, if people are interested in this style to where you have to do some heavy fabrication, move stuff around, you know, really strengthen it up, he can do that. And then also he might make this style bumper, but for the stock mounts, to where it won't be tied in as gusseted as the one that I have, but you'll have the same look, and I'm sure it'll be still stronger than what you're looking at with a stock style bumper. But either way, really loving this bumper. Big shout out to Jose for hooking it up, working with us on this bumper, because I am digging it. All right, next we're gonna be doing the install on the 3-inch pod lights from Novsight. Now I'm gonna be wiring these up directly to our fog light switch on the Tacoma. I previously had the Wesson lights on the other bumper, so you can see I have those. I just tied into that right there. I had 2 of them. I'm going down to 1, so I only have to use 1 wire on each side, but there is 2 of them. This is the stock wiring harness that I just modify to work with this. So we're gonna do the same thing right here, same kind of deal, and then that'll fit in right there. But getting started with an unboxing, we'll show you what's inside. So Adventure is calling. This is the Cyber one. Light up your way. So inside you're going to find, has some paperwork where it's going to show you all the hardware, installations, wiring instructions. There's also going to be some QR codes for social media stuff. And then that's pretty much it. You'll have a wiring harness. Now this is if you want to just wire it straight to the battery, and then you'll have a switch right there. We're going to chop this up and use it as we see fit. And then we have our lights themselves. So let's do the test. Let's do the test. Bird, shut up. Oh yeah. It didn't work out as good as I wanted it to. But what's really cool is that they do come with caps, so you can protect them on the road. So looking at the lights right there, look at those. I really like the design of that. Sexy. So let's take off all this plastic. So there's our 2 lights right there. Very sleek, glossy. They're lightweight, but they're also made of metal. Now, what I really like about these is what got me interested is because I have no amber lighting on this truck. So when you get into fog, when you get into other stuff, you want to have some amber lights. These have amber light covers, which is what I'm probably going to use primarily on this setup, unless I just want to cover up the lights and have that type of look. Otherwise, I'm going to have the amber lighting on because I have no amber lights, and I'm glad to finally have something to where not only can I have amber lights, but if I want to put them back to regular white bright light, I can do that. We have hardware for both sides, as well as a mounting bracket. So there's our mounting bracket right there. And then I think that's going to be it. Pretty straightforward stuff. It also does include a tool, so it has your Allen key right there, so you can get that installed with ease. All right, so we got our lights right here. So light, and then we also have our brackets. And then I put all the hardware into a box so that we can get these put into the correct spot. So these normally would sit like this, right? With the bracket. The bracket would kind of be like that. So I'm going to end up flipping the bracket because I want the lights to still be standing up because they're going to be hanging rather than standing. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the bracket like so, and then it's going to sit underneath there like that. So you have some Allen bolts, and then you have a crush washer. So we got a crush washer on that side. It's already got a threaded point on the side of the light, so we'll just put that in there. Bam. So that's how that will look. So the lights do come with their own hardware, which will mount from the bracket to your tabs on your bumper or wherever you're mounting it. I went ahead and I'm going to use the ones that I had on the bumper previously because I already cut those, because that'll go through right there. And I need a short one because the grill sits like literally right here. So I need a shorter bolt. Didn't feel like cutting these, so these are just some extras that I have, but they are included with longer ones. And just hang that. Bada bing. Cool. So got that tightened on there. Good to go. So light we can adjust as we see fit. We want that facing straight forward, and then get it over with the Allen wrench and tighten the other side. So that one's in there, sturdy, good to go. We're gonna feed this wiring through the back and up through this plastic right here. And we'll have to get that wired up. We'll do that in a second, but we're gonna install the other side now. Next, let's work on the wiring. So wiring would be a lot easier for those of you that, you know, just choose to use the stock wiring harness. Me, because I'm going to be changing it up a little, we have to cut some stuff off. So we got that green wire. So green wire is positive. And actually, if you guys are Tacoma owners, you can use this as reference too. So this one, I'm going to cut this. Green is positive. Remember that. There we go. I'm gonna pull that shit out. Stock harness. Let's untie it. So the stock harness is actually very easy to use, but as I said, I want to use wires that I already have wired onto the truck, so I don't have to add anything directly to the battery. But if you were to wire this up yourself, all you would have to do is, there is a fuse. You go positive and negative to the battery. So this would be to each one of your pod lights. And then this is your switch. So simple enough. For our purposes, we're going to be using these right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut these off. That's our two right there. So using these little red connectors. That would be it right there. So in order to test, what we'll do is we are going to plug this in now. So really cool about this connection, it does have a dust and waterproof setting on here. Okay, let's take the cap off and we'll make sure the light is on. There we go, look at that. Works just fine. And then just to see, let's throw it on. Fog. I dig it. I fucking dig it. Cool. Good to go. we're gonna get the other side wired up and then we'll check in then. Let's get it. And there it is. We are installed. So I do have them turned on right now, so you can see them in the daylight, even though obviously they're not that bright. It's like 100 degrees out here. But oh my goodness, I like how this looks with the Raptor lights as well as 2 fog lights, and then you have the red with all the other red on the truck. I am really digging this. So there it is, quick, easy install on these lights. What we'll do next is we're gonna pop over to nighttime, where we'll give you guys a demonstration. We'll show you how the lights look with the caps on, as well as the bright white light and all of that fun stuff. And then we'll wrap it up from there. Let's get it. All right, so we've gotten our night test out of the way. Now take a look at the footage. You guys can definitely see these lights work. They work very well. Definitely happy with them. As I stated before, I'm going to be using them more so for the amber lighting, so we'll keep the caps on. I think it completes the look really good in the front end. You know, amber lighting, all that stuff looks good. In addition, we're also able to use the lights as well as our new bumper and winch setup, because on our previous night run, I didn't actually use this truck because it was a pretty gnarly trail, but I did park it next to the gatekeeper, and what ended up happening was we were in a situation where one of the vehicles got stuck and we needed a winch. The Tacoma was right there and there was no other winches available, so I just pulled up the Tacoma real quick and I was able to winch out a full-size truck that probably weighs between 6,000 and 7,000 pounds, maybe a little bit more than that, and winch it out just fine. I mean, I've been using this winch for years, so I already know it's like a strong winch and I'm not worried about that, but bumper held up, did its job. In addition, we're able to get some footage of the lights, use them at night. Really good stuff right there. Now, in using the lights at night, the amber is, you know, with the lenses, it's not like terribly bright, but I also got these specifically as a fog light, which I think from Novsight is one of the lower beamed ones, so they're not exactly like the brightest lights. There's different ones. You can get like a ditch one, you can get a fog. I think, what are the other ones? The ones that are like direct beam, ones out, whatever. I'm gonna put the little post in there. It shows all their different types of lights, and each one has different like lumens and everything. So I got one of the ones that was like one of the lower on the lumens because I'm using it as a fog light, so it didn't need to be terribly bright, but it has other advantages and yada yada yada. As for the lights themselves, I am super happy with them. I think they are a good addition to the truck, the bumper, the whole setup. I think it's all coming together very nicely. Now, if you guys are interested in picking up a set of Novsight lights for yourself, whether it be these or any of the other ones that they have out there, they also sell like daytime LEDs, and they sell you know, brights and all this other stuff. They have a bunch of stuff on their website. You guys can check out the link down below, as well as use the coupon code DirtNationTakeover for 25% off. That's right, 25%. None of this 10, none of this 5 shenanigans. We're giving you guys 25% off for Dirt Nation followers. So check that out down below. We'll have a link. You guys can order your stuff and save big time. But that's going to be it for this video. That is our brand new bumper, brand new front end setup, as well as the review on these Novsight lights. I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember to subscribe to channels, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Patreon. You guys, for shirts, hats, hoodies, and those are the goodies. Dirtnation Offroad, BigCartel.com. Until next time, thank you guys. Let's get it.